Welcome back from the break. We are now joined by Duane Hansen, a recent CSU graduate who is now running for City Council in Fort Collins. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, how has your time at ASCSU and at CSU helped prepare you for your political career beyond college?
Well, very similar to how you guys are working in this room right now, doing journalism and whatnot. It's an hands-on activity that actually supplements what you're learning in the classroom. But I've actually been in student governance for 6 years. 1 year was working at the state level, and so I think this has prepared me for learning the policy and seeing those different proposals brought forward to City Council, and the engagement aspect to get citizen impact or input in how you want to address those policies being presented.
And then going forward, what are your platforms that you're running on?
So the biggest key platforms that I have right now are affordable housing and just helping to curb the escalating cost of housing in the city of Fort Collins, transportation alternatives and supplementing multimodal transportation, as well as creating more business diversity so that we don't have all of our eggs in just one basket and that we keep our economy healthy moving forward.
And then do you think that your time at CSU has kind of influenced what those platforms are for you?
Oh, absolutely. I've lived in this community for 30 years, and I've seen how those issues have become more and more at the forefront of challenges that people in Fort Collins are dealing with every day.
Yeah, and then I just noticed that you stayed in the Colorado, and the status quo is no longer serving the people of Fort Collins. We need to bring in a fresh perspective, and I was just wondering how you're planning on bringing in those fresh perspectives.
Well, thank you very much for that one. One of the big things that I have seen out of City Council so far, especially out of District 5, is a lack or a perceived lack of citizen engagement. If you've noticed, I've got a Facebook platform, a Twitter platform. I've got many ways to engage on my website. As well as I've already started to go out and speak to different businesses in the community who, when I spoke to them, have said that they have had almost no contact with their council representative. And I don't think that's the way that business should be run at our city leadership. And so I would be more engaging in our community, not just businesses, but also with students and with single-family homeowners and entrepreneurs in our city.
And definitely. So because District 5 is a heavily student-run area, do you think that will actually help you in this election?
Well, it's the second highest population for students in the city in terms of districts. And I think what it allows is different avenues to get different feedback into City Council. We saw a lot of that when ASCSU, for example, was trying to push U+2 reform. There are some aspects or perspectives that I believe aren't being quite as heard in City Council, and this will just be one avenue of input that I think is currently lacking.
And then you said you've been in Fort Collins for 30 years, but what made you stay? What makes you want to start your political career here?
Honestly, I love Fort Collins. It's especially the summers. You go out, you can ride your bike almost anywhere. You can go hiking, camping. There's skiing during the winter. If you're into that, I'm more the sip hot cocoa and sit by the fire kind of guy. We have probably one of my favorite things is the booming microbrewery industry. There's just so many things to love in Fort Collins. Why not stay?
And then what is kind of your end goal in your political career?
Well, be it elected office or just working behind the scenes in policy or administration, anything like that. Really, the big thing for me is empowering more people to be engaged in our politics. We're seeing record low turnouts across the board, and that to me is just something that shouldn't be happening in this country or in our community. And if it's elected, be it in law like a DA or be it in a more city leadership or legislative role, I just really want to make an impact and empower more people to be engaged.
And then because you're a recent CSU grad, do you think you're going to focus a lot on relations between Fort Collins and CSU?
It will be balanced. So like I said, there are a lot of stakeholders in the city. You've got businesses, single-family homeowners, entrepreneurs, and then you've got students who have somewhat been lacking. But when CSU is one of the largest employers in the city of Fort Collins, you also have to consider the administration. You also have to consider faculty and staff members that live here. So there will be, continued outreach. And as I said before, it's going to be community-wide, not just limited to one or two avenues of outreach.
Then is there anything else that you'd like to say or add?
I would just like to say thank you very much for the opportunities to come up here and speak.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Again, thanks. And after the break, we're going to take a look at a new radar that has been donated to CSU with who other than Elizabeth Prossie. We'll be right back.